stop attacking the farmers. They can just keep doing. They can keep doing what they're doing. We should just generally lean in the direction of a sustainable energy economy. What's more powerful, promises from a prime minister or action from someone who doesn't even live here? That's the question on everyone's mind in Wales right now, where hundreds of farmers are fighting for their livelihood. Well, this isn't just another protest. It's personal, it's emotional, and it's pulling a billionaire like Elon Musk into the spotlight. When farmers cry for help and one of the richest men on the planet answers before the country's leader, what does that say about leadership? Elon Musk could have stayed out of this. He's not British, he's not a farmer, and he's got enough wealth to live 1,000 lifetimes without worrying about taxes or land disputes. But here he is telling Keir Starmer to leave farmers alone. Think about that for a moment. He also said this: "I have great respect for farmers. They work hard to put the food on everyone's table. Why does Musk care? Maybe it's because he sees something others are missing. He knows what it's like to build something from the ground up, to pour your heart and soul into an idea. And maybe that's why he's standing up for these farmers, because their fight isn't just about land. It's about survival. The fact that someone as far removed as Musk gets this before our own leader does well, that's what's got people talking."
There's a great deal of support for farmers in this country. It seems to me that the government and Keir Starmer have made another colossal blunder by coming after you.
Yeah, I mean, I know you focus on the farmers, but it's actually after all of us, because we all eat.
Yeah.
And it's about our food. And that's what we need to remember, which is why, and this from my community, is not just farmers going up. There's local people who understand how important farming is to them, and particularly our rural communities.
We just want fair play for the farmers. Everything we're doing is for our kids. It's their future, and everything is just going against us. This inheritance tax is ridiculous. It's the final straw. It's not every day that Elon Musk gets involved in something like this. He's a tech mogul, a billionaire, a guy who's literally trying to colonize Mars. So why does he care about farmers in Wales? That's the question on everyone's lips. Here's the thing, Musk doesn't have to care. He's not losing sleep over inheritance taxes, and he's certainly not losing money, but maybe that's the point. He's showing up because he can, because he understands the value of standing up for people who can't fight this fight alone, and in doing so, he's putting a spotlight on just how disconnected Starmer seems from the people he's supposed to represent. For the farmers, this isn't just about money, it's about everything they've worked for, everything they've built. These aren't just jobs, they're lives, their traditions, their futures being passed down from parent to child, generation after generation. And now it all feels like it's slipping away. You can hear the pain in their voices. "They're killing us," one farmer said, tears welling up. "They're taking away everything we've worked for." This isn't just frustration, it's heartbreak. It's the feeling of being betrayed by the people who were supposed to have your back. What happens if these farmers go on strike? It's not just a question anymore, it's a reality we might face in the coming weeks. If they walk off the job, the ripple effects will hit all of us. Supermarkets will run low, prices will go up, and panic buying, we've all seen how quickly that can spiral out of control. The truth is, the UK depends on these farmers more than most people realize. They're not just growing food, they're keeping the whole system running. And if that system breaks, it won't just be the farmers who suffer, it'll be everyone. He voiced his opinion again yesterday, showing support to the farmers in Wales, protesting and said we should leave the farmers alone. We owe farmers immense gratitude for making the food on our tables. A UK farmer Starmer responded, saying, "Thank you for supporting the farmers, Elon Musk. I know farmers in the Lake District in the UK who still wake up at 5 a.m. at age 90 years to go out to the fields and care for the animals. They are fit and healthy whole villages of elderly, hardworking people." This isn't the first time Elon Musk and Keir Starmer have crossed paths either. Remember that business proposal Musk reportedly pitched, the one Starmer turned down? Yeah, that's coming back to haunt him now. You think that Britain can be open for business? Is what we're asking our audience today. When Elon Musk, the world's richest man, who just did the most extraordinary thing with a rocket booster landing perfectly back in place yesterday, is not invited, are we really open for business? Why would anyone reject a deal with the richest man in the world? That's the question people can't stop asking. Was it politics, ego, a simple misstep? Whatever the reason, it's starting to look like a missed opportunity. And now, with Musk publicly calling him out, Starmer's decision feels like an even bigger mistake. It's not just Musk that Starmer seems to be brushing off. There's a growing sense that he has a problem accepting help, whether it's from global innovators like Elon Musk or grassroots voices like the farmers. This isn't about one isolated incident, it's a pattern. Time and again, Starmer seems to block potential solutions even when they're handed to him on a plate. It will force many to sell up to pay the bill in a country where 90% of land is farmed. Keir Starmer made no mention of them today. Make no mistake, I will defend our decisions in the budget all day long. I will defend facing up to the harsh light of fiscal reality. I will defend the tough decisions that were necessary to stabilize our economy. Take Musk's business proposal as an example, a chance to bring innovation and investment into the UK, and it was shut down. Why? The same question applies to the farmers. Why ignore their pleas when they're clearly offering solutions, not just complaints? Starmer's resistance doesn't just look stubborn, it looks damaging. Collaboration isn't a sign of weakness, it's how progress happens. By shutting people out, Starmer is building walls where bridges are needed. People are noticing. Every decision to block, delay, or dismiss feels like another crack in the foundation. And the frustration isn't just among farmers. Across the board, there's a growing sense that this resistance to outside help is holding the country back. In times like these, leadership is about solving problems, not creating more. If anyone thought the protests in Ludo were just a one-off event, they were mistaken. This is only the beginning. The farmers have been clear. They won't stop until their voices are heard. Strikes are already in motion. But behind closed doors, there's talk of taking things further: blockades, mass demonstrations, and even coordinated efforts to disrupt supply chains.
The straw that broke the camel's back is obviously the nefarious inheritance tax, which potentially, according to many reports, could affect up to 70,000 family farms. And also, it's the supply chain industries that will be affected as well, as farmers start drawing away from certain assets such as machinery and buildings and so on. So it's got a wider economy effect. But it is also the straw that broke the camel's back for the farming industry generally. There's so many issues that have been stacking up for a number of years, not just inheritance tax, supply chain issues, there's the cheap imports of food.
These aren't idle threats. These are people who've had enough. Their protests aren't just about policy, they're about survival. The inheritance tax isn't merely a financial burden, it's a death sentence for family farms. Farmers see no choice but to fight, and their resolve is only growing stronger. They're tired of being ignored and underestimated, and they're willing to go to great lengths to protect what's theirs. The farmers aren't just fighting for themselves, they're calling on the public to stand with them and make this a national issue. After all, this isn't just about farms, it's about fairness and ensuring that hardworking families aren't punished for wanting to preserve their legacy. The question now is, how far will they go, and how long before the government realizes this isn't a storm that will pass on its own? Before his election, Keir Starmer painted himself as a champion of the working class, a leader who would protect farmers and rural communities. He promised support, understanding, and fairness, but promises are only as good as the actions that follow, and for many farmers, Starmer's actions feel like a betrayal. The inheritance tax changes are a direct contradiction to everything he pledged. Instead of support, farmers feel targeted. Instead of protection, they feel exposed. The policies don't just hurt, they cut deep, especially when they come from someone who once claimed to be on their side. This isn't just about politics, it's about trust. Farmers believed Starmer would have their backs. Now they're questioning whether he ever meant those words or if they were just campaign rhetoric. The disappointment isn't just financial, it's personal. For a group of people who live by their word, that kind of betrayal is hard to forgive. As
Labour's attack on farms is quite extraordinary. Land values have gone through the roof as billionaires have bought up vast amounts of land to avoid inheritance tax tax.
Promises
But
that once secured
what about the
support
small
are now
farmer?
unraveling.
You know, the farm with
pressing
200
question on
acres,
everyone's
whatever it may
mind
be,
is simple.
that
If trust
now
is
has a
lacking
land
now,
value of
why was
millions,
it
and yet
given
they'll be
then?
lucky
Pressure
to
is
make
mounting
30
from the
or
streets
50
to the
grand a
halls
year
of
working
Parliament.
damn
Many
hard
are
out
calling
of
for
it.
change,
Labour's
believing
plans
that the
mean
current leadership
that
has
farmland
lost touch,
will have to
lost
be sold,
trust, and
that family
perhaps
farms
lost the right
will get
to
broken
lead.
up. Why are they
Farmers
doing
aren't
it?
the only ones
Well,
seeking
here's the
change.
clue.
People
Just
across
see
the
this
nation
from
are
John
looking for
McTernan,
someone who will
one of
genuinely
Tony
listen
Blair's
and
advisors.
stand up for what's right. For many, this means it's time for new leadership. This fight isn't just about farmers or taxes. It's about leadership, trust, and the future we want to build. Global attention has highlighted what's happening, but at the heart of this story are the farmers and families fighting for their way of life and future. Now it's your turn. What do you think? Should there be a change in leadership? Do the farmers deserve more support? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you believe this story matters, share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you're always in the loop. Let's make sure these farmers know they're not alone.